Hey, what's up everybody, it's Muth24, and today I'll be taking a look at the George figure from McFarlane Toys Halo Reach line. As you can see from the packaging, it's very similar to the Emile figure that I reviewed earlier, although the accessories that this figure comes with and just the figure's build overall are much different. The back of the box, largely the same. You've got the same figures highlighted, the Spartan Has-Ops, the Grunt, the Elite, George and Emile, as well as the Mark V and Noble 6. Alright, so now I got George out of the packaging, and first thing I've noticed with this guy is that he stands up on his own a lot better than the Emile figure that I reviewed earlier. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that his feet are bigger and his weight is more centered. Now granted, he is a very heavy figure, at least compared to some other ones that I've seen before, but all of his weight is kept in the center of his torso area, so it keeps him pretty balanced, despite the fact that he's got all this stuff on his backpack. His colors are pretty cool. He's got more of an olive green for the majority of his body, and he's got this like yellowish orange color, some white for this little bit on his chest. He's got it's not really a normal red, it's kind of a wine red for his shoulders there, and then this little bit around his neck, and then he's got black and gray for the interior bits of his armor. He also has some scuff marks in silver on his kneecap there, and it just makes his armor look like it's seen some wear over the years. He is a Spartan 2 compared to pretty much everybody else in Noble Team, where they are Spartan 3s, so George is of the same breed as Master Chief from the original Halo games. So now I've taken George's backpack and his gun off, and we'll get to those accessories in a little bit. In terms of posability, his head can rotate 360, and his chin will clear this little bit on the back of his armor there. His head can go up and down quite a ways. The arms, again, aren't going to go up all that high at the shoulder. This arm can only swing back and forth just because of how big the shoulder armor is, but this one can go 360 no problem. They're going to bend at the elbow, not even 90 degrees, just a bit of a disappointment. The ball joints at the wrist can rotate 360 and can wiggle around there a little bit, and it's different than on Emile, whereas he had a rotating joint here and then a hinge on the wrist. This one's just a ball joint for the whole thing. The torso can go back and forth, side to side a bit, and can turn only so much. The legs can go about that far forwards, quite a bit further backwards than I would have expected. They can bend about 90 degrees at the knee, and then the foot can rotate 360, can go back and forth with the little joint there, and then the toe doesn't really move at all in this figure. George still has two pegs on the back of his waist armor there where you could put grenades onto, but his back is slightly different than most of the other figures. He's got a hole here where you could put another weapon, but he's got this big opening here, which is where the backpack pegs into. And I do find that even though the backpack is a little heavy, he does tend to stay upright perfectly fine with it, and the backpack does tend to stay. I've seen couple of videos where people said that the backpack fell out for them. Mine doesn't seem to have that problem, but it could for yours, so just be aware of that. And even though there's a peg in the back of George's armor, you can also put his turret or any other weapon that you wanted to on the back of his backpack with this little hole there, and he will hold his turret just fine. Although I did try and put Emile's shotgun in there before, and the peg that comes with the shotgun got stuck in there. This hole's relatively tight on mine, but it might not be so much on yours. To put the turret into George's hands, you have one handle on the back here, and then one handle at the front that's kind of angled, and basically all you're going to do is pop this one into this hand, and then kind of swing his arm around, and pop that one into that hand, and you hold on to it pretty solidly. You kind of have to, wiggle his arms around a little bit to get him to pull off an action pose, and it's kind of disappointing that his arms can't move a little bit more, because it would make for cooler poses. But at the same time, when you see him in game, using this turret. This is pretty much the pose he's got most of the time anyways, so it's not a huge disappointment, but, you know, McFarlane Toys could have made a couple of adjustments to make his poseability in the arms a little bit better. So can I recommend McFarlane Toys' George figure? Yes. He has some of the same problems as with the Emile figure in that his arms aren't that poseable, but at the same time he has better leg mobility, and his level of detail, again, is just fantastic. The turret that he comes with is a very unique weapon to give a Spartan, and his weight distribution is very solid. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, especially considering how heavy of a figure this is and how bulky he is. His armor is not interchangeable. For $11 though, I think the price is pretty well justified. Don't forget to rate and comment below, subscribe if you like what you see, and with that, I will see you guys next time. And I promise that there will be some Gundam reviews coming within the next week or so. I've been just kind of busy lately, so I figured these figure reviews would be quick enough for me to do. So look forward to those in a short while.